introduction from yourself. So yeah, you can just do that right now, and then we'll get right into the OPGG as well.
All right, Deletus, Chris. I play competitive since like 1.5 years now. I'm a jungle main. Back in the day, I played a lot of Rengar. I still play him a lot in solo queue, but I also like expanded my champion pool a lot in the last year, especially. So yeah, and I think what my weakness is, especially in solo queue, is that I get angry very fast. So usually when I have good mental, I'll win almost every game. But I don't know if you have like any tips or something how to like.
Yeah, some, but it's always like hard, right?
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
about it, I think.
all right. Yeah, I mean, usually in solo queue, right, the way not to get mad is when you really want to play for LP and you really want to win, right, and things don't go your way. It's like frustrating, right?
Yeah.
So there's like multiple ways to kind of try and go about it. One of them is like play to like play well yourself and get better at the game, right? Which is much easier said than done because obviously it's hard to not care about LP at all. But yeah, if you don't care about whether when, like at the end of the day, whether you win or lose, but you care more about becoming a better player, then obviously the individual losses won't affect you as much. And then the other thing is that you don't have like you have control over 1 out of 10 characters in the game, right? You can't control how other people play, how other people behave. You can only try to influence it by maybe pings or typing, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, if they fuck up and you lose, it sucks. But you couldn't have changed it, right?
Yeah, that's
But
for
yeah,
sure.
it's understandable that you can get frustrated, right?
I mean, I realized it
In solo
myself,
queue.
like whenever I play solo queue and I like really don't give a single fuck about LP. Like when I literally only like look at myself and whenever someone pings or types, like I just fucking mute them.
Yeah.
And not care at all, then I usually win most of my games and I perform really well. And the moment I start caring about win or lose, it just gets really frustrating because there's just like 30-40% of games which you just can't affect. So
yeah, I mean, again, it makes sense, right? It's hard. That's just the conclusion. It's hard not to get frustrated sometimes.
yeah.
But yeah, for sure, a good mental is like one of the most important things when it comes to climbing a solo queue.
Especially Master Elo is not the most fun to play in.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you on that. Like, whenever I play on like my master account, there's just some games that you legit can't do anything better and you lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Let's get into the OPG review, and we'll keep it not too long, like 10 minutes, and then we go into the fault review. So, if you could join my screen share on Discord.
Yeah, man.
All right, great. So yeah, basically just looking through like your builds, right? I mean, you play like on both accounts, you most play as Rengar, right? By a big amount. So just quickly looking at it, I think the main thing I notice is that you're always taking, or at least in the recent games, you're always taking armor, right? Which, let's see if you do it here as well. What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, I usually only take Amar if there's like double AP.
Yeah.
I
mean, armor is like armor is good early game, but in terms of gold efficiency, I think it's level 5 that it gets outskilled by the health rune, right? And especially in jungle, a lot of times you don't need the early armor,
Yes.
right? So if you really need it, let's say you're playing against double AD mid jungle, the value goes up, right?
Yeah.
Or let's say you need to fight enemy jungle in your first pathing, like you want to invade him or whatever, right? The value of armor also goes up because the
Yeah.
makes sense, right? But I was quickly looking through as well, like Netty Net's builds,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
in his recent games, at least, like I haven't gone over all of them. I've only gone over the most recent ones, right? He's just taking scaling health.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you're already doing like the same runes almost as he is, and the same build, right? And
Yeah.
obviously he's like rank 1, so he probably knows what he's doing on Rengar.
Yep.
As for other champions, right? I mean, an important one to look at is right, because here you take resolve secondary, right? And then one
Yeah.
above that you take inspiration secondary.
Yeah.
Why is it that you do it like this?
Because in that game they had like a lot of CC, like they had like Shin, Alistair, Belvet, and Azir, right?
Mhm.
So I wanted to go Conqueror,
Mhm.
and then I took like Unflinching for CC, right, and Conditioning.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I just liked it more because I'm gonna be more skirmishing and the fights are gonna be longer.
Mhm.
And here they had like Ari, Varus, Senna, Lee Sin. Like the fights are
Mhm.
usually gonna be really short. So I wanted to take PTA
Mhm.
because I don't think I can stack my Conqueror.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, right? I'm more so interested in like the secondary because to me, right, I think resolve secondary is still really good with
Yeah.
conditioning overgrowth, right? Because it makes you really
Yeah.
tanky mid game for free. Um, whereas Cosmic Free Boots, I think, is really good, especially in solo queue as well, right? Because some of the CDR solo queue is really volatile, so it's harder to play around when you will have your summoners back up. So just having your summoners back up more often, you usually want to use them really quickly after you have them up anyway, right? As a jungler.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say for sure in games where they have a lot of CC, but I think here they actually have quite some CC as well with Ari Charm, these two, right? Not
Yeah.
the
Could
most, but they
take
have
it.
some CC as well. But don't you think that instead of taking unflinching, going Ledge Tenacity is good, or do you really need the Alacrity attack speed on Viego to function?
I don't think I need it, but it feels really good. It's
Mm-hmm.
I mean I know it's kind of stupid, but it's like on the clear, on the first clear especially, it's like really nice.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's probably not needed, I think.
the thing is just if you look at um, oh, it's here. If you look at unflinching, right, it's only 5% tenacity, and when you're at full health, and then
Yeah.
obviously whenever you reach 30% health, like it scales up the lower you are, right? But this one is just 20% always, right? Once you have it stacked, which is a huge deal because if you get CC'd at full health, you only have 5% tenacity with this one. Sure, it
Yeah.
will skill up, but if you get CC'd, take half your health during the CC, and then you get tenacity, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter that much anymore, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you just have 50% more tenacity from the start with max tech tenacity rune, it can make a huge difference, right?
I mean,
Um,
especially against jumps like Senna, Varus, right? Like they open up with their CC, so you're always gonna
yeah, for sure,
get
for sure.
almost no level value.
Let's see if there's like a game, maybe this one. Because maybe you're right, like maybe it is true, right? That um, how do you say
Thing
it?
is,
Maybe it is true that attack speed is really good, right? Or like for
it
sure it's
like
really good, but that you need it.
it makes your Q animation also way faster.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Resurrect is, for example, in this game they have like Nico, Cyan, like a lot of CC as well, and he's also not taking
yeah,
it, and he's not even buying, like he's just buying a Marboots, you know, like he's not even
yeah,
buying like taking the thing secondary, and he takes it really late as well. So
yeah.
yeah, maybe that's a better option, right? I don't know. Could be the case. But for sure, I think taking into consideration whether or not you should go Resolve second is good, because I think Resolve second is actually strong right now.
Yeah. And competitive, I play way more Resolve because when I know the games are gonna be slower, then I like it way more. And in solo queue, it's often just a lot of fist fighting, right? So
Yeah, for sure. And Smite CD, that was always a big one, right, with the Herald timer.
yeah.
But since they changed Smite, it's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you still want to take a look at?
Not really.
All right. In that case, you can, if the vault is already uploaded, you can just send it over, and we're gonna start. Sorry.
Yep. There we go. Oh lord.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just have to work with it. Like the quality is not
Okay.
rendered yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is what is enemy mid champ? Like I honestly don't see.
Ari.
Ari. Okay.
Yeah.
So as a jungle, of course, you can impact every lane in the game, right? So it's important to know which lanes have prio, which lanes do not. Especially solo queue. In competitive, they can kind of tell you, right? So start bot to top. So Ezreal Rakan versus Fire Senna. Who has prio here?
Where is Senna?
Yeah, should be Fire Senna, right? They should have prio.
Yeah.
And then mid lane, Ari versus Akali, who has prio.
Yep.
It should be Ari, right? Not too hard to
Ari,
answer.
yeah.
And then on top, Poppy versus Gwen, who has prio.
Early Poppy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I would expect early Poppy as well. I'm not 100% sure, right? But Poppy pretty strong. And early game Gwen is not the strongest, right? With Poppy Q, she should be able to get prio. So our only prio lane is top, right? And then in jungle matchup, right? Also, a really important thing is knowing if you meet him early game, do you actually win 1v1?
I don't know. From full HP, I don't know.
All right. So already that means, right, that there's a potential that Lee Sin wants to have his jungle path to, how do you say it, to match up with yours to look for the fade, right? Because he has prio in 2 lanes, so he has prio mid, prio bot. So he could do his own bot side into invade your bot side, right? In theory.
Yeah.
So that's an important thing to think about already. Then, do we win the 2v2 on top?
Nope.
Do we win 2v2 on mid?
Nope.
Do we win 3v3 on bot?
Nope.
All right, so yeah, I mean that's pretty rough, right? Already from the get-go, you don't really have anywhere to play. So if we don't really win any 3v3s and you don't win 1v1s against Lee Sin, what should our ideal jungle pathing look like?
So I was thinking about like 2 options, right? First, what I think is probably the more consistent way is just try to like get an early ward onto the Lee Sin, and then just play on opposite side of map where he is. Or what I tried to do, because it's master solo queue, I wanted to do like a 3 camp, like what I thought would be good, maybe to break the Varus Senna pressure lane, to like do a 3 camp into bot lane, so I can break the lane and maybe pull a flash or maybe even kill, right?
Yeah.
Because then a lot of pressure gets relieved. So
yeah. I mean, I think both things you're saying are fine, but you can do them both without dropping the other, right? Because if you know, we need to know where Lee Sin starts. I want to make sure that he is not pathing like to the same side I am, so that we don't meet. That's good, right? If you're losing every side you meet him, then of course you don't want to meet him, right? So getting an early ward with your team, you can just ping them, right? You can just be like, hey team, come with me. I don't know where the ward is the best against Lee Sin, but let's say it's top side. You ping, come, we ward, right? You run in here as a team and you place the ward. This shouldn't take so long that you can't get onto your bot side in time anymore, right? Of course, he could swap to how do you say it? He could swap to Red Trinket, right? Or someone on his team could swap to Red Trinket. Lee Sin doesn't really want to do it, right? But other junglers could. But even if they do it, if they're too late, right? Let's say they cleared at 120, they're not gonna be able to make it to bot side anymore, right? So you know where they're gonna start. And then, yeah, I agree. If on bot lane they're playing a double range lane without any form of movement, right? They have no mobility. So, and you have setup on support as well. So if you do get a good spot to see if you can bot gank, right? It's really good because it can drop a lot of pressure because they're gonna have to be worrisome about you ganking. So I think both things you're saying are true, but they don't necessarily exclude each other, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to gank, if you were to want to look to do maybe 3 camps into bot, what would your like best jungle pathing be?
I think most likely the best one should just be like Raptors Red Crux. So I will have an earlier timer than Lee Sin because first of all I have a faster clear. And second reason, like if he does his bot set, like his 3 blue camps, he's gonna be weaker because he does not rep a threat and he's gonna drop a bit low. Because Lee Sin on blue camps drops a bit low, so.
Yeah.
So I should have for sure done Raptors Red in the Crux. And then bot.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. And at this point, right, when you're getting Crux, you don't want to just blindly run bot. You want to always look. What is the wave set like, right?
Yeah.
And especially on jungle, during doing your camps, you can already look right at laners, what is going on, see if the lane is going how you expect it to go, or maybe something's happening differently, right? And yeah, I agree, right? I think if you do these 3 camps into bot, and you can get a flash, or even maybe get a kill, right? Because you do have setup on support, and you do have CC with flash as well that they can't touch, right? Then it's really good. Right, now we can see what happens. Lee Sin didn't show, right? Like it's kind of hard to watch minimap, but I don't think he showed, right? On minimap. No. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh. I mean, that happens. I mean, you try to get to ward in level 1, right? Which is fine. I think it is a bit greedy here because, like, if Lee Sin was standing here, then of course you shouldn't go for it. But also, you don't know where enemy top is, right? He could be here. And if you get chunked level 1, but your plan is to look 3 camps into a gank, I'm assuming you don't heal up to full even with Viego early game from doing camps. Then it can actually make a difference, right, in what you want to do. So it is a bit greedy to go for the ward. And then, yeah, I mean, what happens, right? Sometimes you misclick or don't click like exactly right. That happens. Right. So when you start blue, right? No, actually, let's just watch it. Because I already talked about what jungle bang we would have wanted to do.
Pain.
Okay. Missed the window. Fuck. Try to get it on the frame that you're like clicking, but well, oh, oh my god! I'll have to slow it down. One sec.
Oh, good.
What? Oh my! It's fine. You click again. Okay. So, so this is really important, right? Because looking over and not understanding what's going on doesn't really help, right? So when you see this wave state, what does it mean for at least the next wave? It's gonna be here, like this one. And then what does that also probably mean for the one after? Because you're pathing to bot, right? So bot wave state matters a lot. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically even red there. Red there's like 2 minions alive and we have like 3, but they're like all low HP, so it's like kinda
Yeah,
even.
yeah. This wave's
But
still
our,
even, yeah.
so I think for second wave, like if enemy bot lane can play it, like plays it well, they should hit really hard from range, and if Rakan walks up to like hit the melees to get the support item and get 2, they should just trade him back as well. But I think Rakan could trade a little bit of HP to get 2 first.
Yeah.
Because he has like relic shield, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing, right? Rakan has relic shield and he's playing against 2 range. So when the second wave is even and they have relic shield, he can walk up and, like you said, he can trade like 2 autos on him to last hit minions. And it's also because Rakan has a bit longer range, so he can do it even a bit more safely. Which means your bot lane is not actually getting shoved in, right? As they should be getting. Which means bot lane is either gonna be like even in the middle, right, like it is now, or it's maybe going to be pushing to them because when they hit 2, if they hit 2 first, they're going to look for an advantageous trade, right?
Yeah.
Does this influence how you want to path in any way?
I think I can still like I think I should just do my wolves, and then I should keep looking bot. Because if they get a trade in level 2, we can look for something still, right? Like depending on how the wave looks.
For sure. Yeah, I agree, right? Like immediately, this doesn't signal, okay, I need to be there soon, right? But it's really good because this means the lane will be more volatile than it should be, right? Which means you can expect to look to like something happens, you should look bot more. Maybe you have to skip camps, right? If nothing happens, of course, in this wave state, if enemy bot is here, you're not gonna be able to gank anyway, right? So you would just want to clear.
Yeah.
And then I think you click mid as well, so we can quickly take a look at that as well. Yeah. And does this wave state really mean anything for you?
I mean, this one means that Ari can crash next wave if she wants to, and she can, like, they can look into my bot side with Lee and Ari, right? Like in theory, or Ari can just move into bot lane. So if I want to, like, gank bot lane, I need to look mid again if she is like moving.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But that's the only thing, right? You're not gonna do anything on mid wave, regardless.
No, I can't.
And he's also not crashing on this wave already, right? So it's good to keep on looking because he can go slow on this wave, but if you see him spamming spells, it means he's probably pushing for something, and that something could be to sync up with the Sin for the Invade, right? So yeah, that's basically spot on, right? And it's good to look for sure. Okay, and now you see that bot lane is fighting a lot, right? Which means you might want to run there faster than you would normally do, right? You might want to either go there straight as level 3 if you see it's really, really volatile and you see that there's like an immediate gank opportunity. Yeah, and you're pinging on the way, right? Alternatively, right, if you can't gank right now, you can do one more camp, right? Do you think right now when you get here, it's a good gank angle?
No. Like my Recon, like they're still level 1, right? Like, and my Recon is 1 HP and they're level 1, so I can't do this right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's really low, right? And their SL is kind of low as well. If you count minions, so I don't know if they got denied XP, right? But normally it's 9 minions, of which 6 are melee minions. So this is the last melee minion from wave 2. If this one dies, they should hit level 2, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with you that right now, if you run there right now, they should not be able to walk up. And I mean, I guess they're Ezreal, so they can actually try to get this. But if these guys are pressuring, they might not be able to get it, right? It can be a tricky gank since your Rakan is so low, right? So alternatively, if you don't want to gank right now, you could do just take your red, which obviously makes you stronger in the fight as well, right?
Yeah.
And then you watch bot again. If you see they're playing up on the wave that they crashed, it means the wave's right here, right on the tower. It means enemy bot is going to be playing somewhere in this area, which means you can come like this and gank, right? So that's good. Also, if we watched with how much they fought, right? I mean, your bot didn't really ping it either. There should not be a ward yet, right? So Ideally, you would also want to, when doing red, still watch and see if they're going to place a ward.
They also never spaced into river up until now, so.
Yeah, exactly. So it shouldn't be there yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And now there's probably a ward, right? Because yeah. And this is still good, by the way. What you're doing is still good. Do you know why?
No.
Because normally on this crash, because your Rakan is already low, so he doesn't really want to go in. And I mean, not just that they can dive. If Lee Sin is here and you're not, they can dive, yes. But more so that if you're showing here, it means that their bot lane doesn't want to play up at all. Because if they do, they die, right? So you actually allow your bot lane to this wave. You allow your bot lane to catch it safely, right? They're actually allowed to catch this without taking any extra damage, which is good for their lane, right? Which in solo queue, obviously, you don't care as much about your lanes. You'd rather get ahead yourself, right? Because you know you can carry. But it's actually not the worst. It's good for your bot, right? But when you see them walking away like this, of course, you don't want to overcommit on the play, right? Right now, you should realize, okay, I'm not gonna reach. Because also your bot, again, it's the same thing as to why it's fine for them to collect this. You don't want to force them to run up and lose the CS over play that might work, might not. If you trade like Flash on their bot right now, but your bot lane loses like part of this wave, it's not worth, right?
Yeah. I think I thought here that Varus wasn't there anymore. Just on how Senna moved, but that's like obviously a flip, right? So I didn't even get the flash.
I mean, Varus could have either warded then saw you and ran away, or he could have just cheated or recalled, in which case it didn't really make Senna like sense what Senna was doing, right? I mean, you end up getting her flash, but which is not the worst, right? But obviously you lose time clearing as well, which you don't really like.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like I think for like 20% chance to lose a flash, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If she knew you were here, like, it's kind of weird because I think maybe with how she was playing, and with the fact Ferris isn't showing, Ferris might have just cheated recalled and he didn't actually see you on a ward here. But he's playing as if you are here already and he knows, right? Yeah. But probably in hindsight, when I see that Ferris isn't here, probably Ferris was just like basing and pinging his center back because he didn't want him to walk up on his own, right? But yeah, I think to recap, I think the pathing you're doing is fine, right? I think the gank timer is now, if you want to, right? And this is also why if you want to do 3 camps into bot, you never want to do 3 of your topside camps into bot, right? Because the timer
crashed.
Yeah, exactly. The timer that you're gonna be bot is when they crash, but instead if you do the 3 bot set camps into bot, the timer is when the cannon minions, like the cannon waves, are like about to crash to each other, which is like the timer they would want to push it in. So if they were slow pushing, right, in this lane, as you would expect them to, because they're playing double ranged, that would be the timer that they would get ganked on, right? And they would want to crash.
Yeah.
Right. Now, with the fact that Senna Flash is down and you have set up on bot, right? How do you think you want to play from now on?
I think I should just take my next timer again and just look into bot onto the Senna again. Or like obviously now my Rakan will have a move, right? Like after they crash the bot wave. And then we can have a timer to get into mid as well.
Yeah. I mean, what you're saying is completely correct, right? And since you have flash and Senna doesn't, it's also not a guaranteed kill, but it's a way easier kill than anywhere else on the map, right?
Yeah, that's why I felt like so awkward this game as well, because the only lane I can do something is bot lane. Like mid and top is like I should never kill.
Yeah.
Or do anything.
I mean
It also feels bad to farm a lot this game because I feel like we're not winning even if we're dragging this game. So I was not entirely sure what to do.
I mean that is why draft in solo queue is actually kind of important, right? But yeah, for sure, this game, it's hard for you to do anything. So typically speaking, when you have a game where you can't really do anything, you want to, like priority number one is to just maximize the amount of resources you can get, right? Because there's no guaranteed place for you, but also unless you know someone on your team is like really insane and is gonna carry, like you have upset on AD or something, you don't know if they will be good or not, right? You don't know if they're gonna carry or not. So playing for yourself in solo queue is the most consistent way to climb because you are the guaranteed factor in every single one of your games, right? And yeah, especially in games like this, like I agree with you, right? Your lanes are really hard to play around. You create an opportunity for yourself in the future by getting Senna Flash, and now you should go back to just maximizing the resource that you can get, while whenever possible, of course, still looking for extra opportunities that enemies give and just punishing mistakes, right? I think that's the most important thing to look out for. So yeah, what you're doing, I actually really like, right? The fact that you're watching around a lot on the map, and maybe arguably you could do it a bit more even. But the most important thing is like understanding how lanes work, for it to be effective, and then understanding whether or not you can punish, right? Is it a mistake by the enemy, and can I punish? Also, one thing I didn't notice, I like these pings, right? That you expect Lee Sin to start top side and pair for bot, and your bot is about to crash your wave as well. So it's good that you're pinging, like, okay, careful, Lee Sin is there, right? He can come. After Raptor Camp, right, what I would want you to do, what you're also doing, is look bot still with Raptor Camp. If you see enemy bot is holding up the wave, a big chance that means that either they're like the most greedy fuckers on the world, or Lee Sin is wanting to gank there, right? They want Lee Sin to come and gank when enemy bot is trying to crash. So if they're holding like a big wave, do you think we should go there after Raptors to counter gank, or do you think it's not possible and you should run top and just get your Scuttle Crab?
I think I should run bot because the wave is like really big, and if they fight in the wave, I think we should be winning.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you can't win it, then it's like really sad, of course. But I agree, right? If the wave is really big and they're holding it, you can do it. Of course, if they just let this wave crash, you don't have to, right? You don't achieve anything but on a wave that is already crashed.
Yeah.
So yeah, now this time, right? Like you see Lee Sin here. I mean, you're kind of walking to bot. Like when you start walking to bot, obviously you want to look right now. Is it gonna crash, right? If you see they crash, you don't have to run there. If you see it doesn't crash, you can keep on running there. But then the moment you see Lee Sin, your bot lane also should know, okay, we're allowed to crash, and you don't have to run there anymore, right? And your bot lane ideally doesn't want to stay on map for too long either, because they should look to get a reset whenever possible, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like here I should have just taken the reset after the ward on Lee Sin, to be honest, no? Like this is just useless what I'm doing here.
I agree. I mean, this is kind of, how do you say it? This is looking for like a mistake before it happens, you know? Where he's hugging topside, where his Lee Sin is, and he's just pushing in the wave, and your Kali can't do anything about it, right? So, and you know they have a ward here as well, right? So for sure, this is just, instead of punishing a mistake, this is waiting for them to make a mistake so you can look for the punish, which might work sometimes in solo queue, but if the Ahri is smart, he should never die here, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, what you do, right? Kind of what you do is delay Ahri's crash, but it doesn't really matter if you delay your crash, right? And priority number one should be maximize your own resources, so you can, in later fights, especially on a champ like Viego, you can carry fights, right?
Yeah.
And even though it's a 2v3, it's not really, right? Because your Kali is low health and there's a big wave, so she doesn't actually want to fight.
Yeah, I mean, she's just a killing minion.
Yeah.
I guess Ahri is also low mana.
I mean, she is, but realistically, you don't kill,
Doesn't.
right? And if
Yeah,
you don't
never.
kill, you are not getting anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you get double scuttled, but normally, right? Normally, what would have happened is you take this, you like walk towards bot to see if it crashed, right? It's fine. You spot out Lee, and right now you just recall, right? And if you
Yeah,
recall right
recall.
now, sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you recall right now, it means you're gonna spend your money, you're gonna run to top, and then after Lee Sin takes scuttle, he still has to reset, right? So Lee Sin is gonna take top scuttle reset, and then that whole timer, you're already ahead on the map. So you're gonna start your next clear earlier, right?
Yeah, I will be bot then like 30, 40 seconds earlier
Yeah,
than
yeah,
Senna no flash, so
exactly. And then you want to
the
make a
game
play. Yeah, you want to make a play on the lane that you already created, like an advantage for yourself, right?
yeah,
Um,
that's true.
and
I
then
think game maybe looks
yeah,
very different then if you
yeah, and
kill
then
any bot lane.
for example, what Lee Sin is doing here, obviously, if you had based right here, you would have bought. I don't know what the best buy is for Trinity Force. It's probably double longsword, right?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah, just double
longsword
longsword.
health might be better. I don't know. But
I think I just got double longsword. Yeah.
like either way, you're gonna have either 20 AD more or 10 AD and like the health more, right? And then
Yeah.
you're gonna be full health as well. And then Lee Sin obviously is never able to do what he's doing now, right?
Yeah.
And even now he's like not really able to do it, but he is kind of able to do it because only because your Rakan is here, he's not allowed to do it, but he can get away with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, here just have to let him die. I don't know why he's going so deep.
Yeah, that you for sure let him die. And I was watching maybe if Ari uses Charm, you can get like a flash W onto the Lee, right? But Ari keeps Charm, which is good by him.
Yeah.
So if you do, you're gonna get instantly charmed, and you're not actually gonna kill him, and then you just die afterwards, right?
Yep.
But yeah, this is pretty disastrous for you because you don't have flash to punish a Senna anymore on bot, and you're gonna be really delayed on your clear, which is never good when you're playing a champ like Viego, right?
Yeah.
And he's still fucking with you, right? So you're still a bit delayed.
Yeah.
And now we have to
Sure.
clear without reset as well, which makes the clear obviously a bit slower as well, right?
Yeah. Just want to take those two for Nunquiver.
Yeah, I mean, if you go Noonquiver first, then it's like I don't know the build of Viego, right? I thought people want Triforce first. But if you go Kraken first, for sure double longsword is always the buy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now Rakan dies as well. And now, honestly, game is really looking really rough, right? Because your top doesn't really get a lead 1v1. Same for your mid lane. And your bot is behind. And Lee Sin is also like in a good spot, right?
Yeah.
In terms of what he wants to do. And your bot wave is also bad. So Lee Sin can look to combat if they hold that wave, right?
He should be bot, yeah, for sure.
Which they don't. They don't hold the wave, they're just pushing it in.
Yeah.
Do you think we should be running here looking for a kink? Or for a kill, I mean, sorry.
I mean, they're really low, but I should know that Lee Sin is here. But at this point, I'm like, I kind of need to flip, no? Like, this game is so hard. I don't know.
Ooh. I mean, I think it's like good and bad what you're doing, if that kind of makes sense. I think, I mean, looking bot is really good, right? And then you see, like you ping on the way because you want him to hold, which is good, right? But you should ping him like just hold his wave, I think, because what this guy is doing is like really risky, right? Because Lee Sin can be there. Then of course you can ping like, oh, maybe Lee Sin is here as well, right? So he knows not to play like this.
Like,
Because
if
if Lee
Lee's
is
in
here,
this
he can
push,
go,
he's,
right? Yeah, exactly. If he's hogging the bot side more, obviously Lee Sin has a way longer path and he's Ezreal with E up, right? So it's harder.
Yeah.
And then you can take a more straight pathing as well. When you see he's doing this, right? I think instead of walking around, you just walk like this because it's a bit faster and you get to them earlier, right? And their escape is actually cut off by Ezreal on his own because of how low they are, right? They can't just get hit by Astral Q because they will die. Yeah, now obviously this Astral, like, he misplayed it really hard, but at least you get the return kill, and the wave state is fine, right? If you let this wave be, it's a good wave state for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you can just take this pink from range and then run away, right? You don't need to walk forward because yeah, they like you don't really have any kill pressure on Senna ever, right? There's no way you're gonna kill him. All right, so now what should we be like? Actually, let's do it here. Like after this kill, what should we be looking to do?
I feel like I should just instantly take the reset, probably in the bush, and then just run back to bot like straight.
Yeah, I mean you could for sure, right? This wave really good to gank on. I didn't see whether or not Varus used flash. Like I don't know what's in chat either. Like it's honestly unreadable with the quality. But yeah, for sure the consistent play, right? The consistent play is you get this kill, you hold this wave a bit for Ezreal or Khan shoot, right? You just go farm your Crux, and then you watch, right? Okay, is bot gankable? Are they playing up? Are they looking to crash the wave? And a big one, of course, as well is Lee Sin showing, right? If Lee Sin doesn't show on map, there's a chance he is bot. That's always bad, right? What you could do if Lee Sin isn't bot, right? What would be even good is to run up and clear this pink that's right here, like in that bush. That is like in the bush above there. Run up, clear that pink, and then after you clear that, they don't have vision there anymore. You can go do Crux, and it puts like extra pressure on them, right? Because they don't have to river vision anymore, and the wave is like this. So for sure, that's like the most consistent play I think that you can make to get a lead. And then of course, if you see okay, the bot lane is really not gankable, you just do your Raptors afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now with how he's playing, it also looks like there's someone behind, right? Yeah, there he is. I mean, this Senna is playing kind of weird, and it is Master Elo, so it kind of makes sense that you might not expect someone to be there in game, right? But if normally if a player is playing like this, when he knows it's a 1v2, it's not actually 1v2, because there's no way Senna ever wins this 1v2, and he knows it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now this death obviously really really huge, right? Because you just got a kill for yourself, and you created a good wave state on bot to maybe get another punish in, but because you die, you can't capitalize on it, right? And your bot is gonna get poked out as well on this big wave. Like they're just gonna have a slow push into your bot basically, right? And they even get zoned because of it, right? Because I mean, also this Rakan is playing bad, right? Like why is he doing all of this? But you can't really control that he's doing that, right?
Of course.
And now it's like you have to run bot again. You have to help them on the wave, right? And now you just have to full clear again. But you're full clearing away from the lane that you would want to play for, right? Which is not ideal because bot lane is still the easiest lane to get kills on, in my opinion, right? All right. Do you think we can get a gank bot here again, or do you think right now it's not possible?
I don't have 6.
Yeah.
Like no flash. I think it's super hard.
Yeah, right now it's not possible, right? Because also your like enemy bot is 6 on Ferris, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he throws his ult here. This is his ult animation. But Ferris on 6, obviously really good at turning ganks, right? A lot of damage. You can't buffer it with ult either. And yeah, I mean, Lee Sin was still around as well. I think they literally 2v3 you, even if Lee Sin isn't there with Ferris ult up. Rakan low as well, he can't engage.
Yeah.
So right now, they just kind of have to take the L because you can't kill them, but they can't help you kill them, right?
Yeah.
that's good, right? You see the Lee Sin on bot, on the ward. So you want to go cover the dive, which sucks for you, right? But you kind of have to.
Yeah.
If you don't, they're gonna get so much on bot. And also, you know that, I mean, I don't know if you knew in game, but you saw that he used Fairsilt, right? So that's actually a really big cooldown that's down, right? So you could look here, for sure. I think this E usage is a bit bad, no? Because you only get this, like, and like you get like this time that you can walk, like this.
Thing is, they have like vision in the bush, right? So they just back off the moment I walk in vision. So I kind of wanted to like delay it a little bit at least.
I mean, I was thinking with how far he's up, maybe you can eat this wall, right? Then it goes like around like this, and you have way more movement speed, and with that movement speed, you can maybe catch up, right? That's what I was thinking. Because look at how far they are up on bot, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have Ferrosilt, which is like a big one. So I think for sure, if you eat here, there's a way bigger chance, of course, that you catch them like this. And then if you get one kill, I think you can wipe them here, right?
Yeah, I should for sure try that.
Viego.
Like I think good possibility that I just get one shot by Lee Sin ult and like they still have heal, right? But
I mean, that's the thing, right? The game right now is looking really rough, and this, to me, because Lee Sin is low, and you have ult up, you're full health, and Ezreal is not weak, right? Early game Ezreal still, he can like follow up with E and long range. So if you can kind of try to 2v3, and if you outplay, which I think you have the possibility to with Viego ult and Ezreal range, right? If you outplay, you can wipe them here, and you can suddenly get like a huge gold spike and maybe carry the game, right?
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
But yeah, now obviously running in is like you can't, right? You can't. So still, like you cover the dive, which is still like what you should do, right? And now I think what you do is you just run up with your bot lane. Run up with your, like on the next wave, not right now, you run up with your bot lane, push this in. Because if you look at health bars and stuff, even though they aren't full health, they still have Lee Sin kick, and they still have Senna to heal them up a bit, right? And your Rakan is literally one tap, right? One auto from Senna and he's dead. So he can never go in. So, and your wave, if you look as well, is gonna bounce out of your turret, right? It's gonna slow push to them. So Ezreal can't actually crash it on his own, but I think 2v3 you can still fight if they run into you, right? So I think you just run up with your Ezreal and try to push this wave in. It's also fine for you because you get XP, right? You can take like 2 or 3 minions, just don't take the cannon because it's gonna get tilted, right? Actually, it's not cannon wave. So yeah, you can just take 2 or 3 minions, and then you can base run top, and maybe afterwards do something again, right? You just run top and see what you can do.
Yeah.
Do you agree, by the way? Like, if there's anything you don't agree on, just tell me, right?
I agree, yeah, because like I didn't even think about that in that moment, but obviously, like if I don't go bot here and push out the wave, they can just die and then also tower and then it's just completely doomed, right? Yeah, like they die.
Yeah, I mean, this, like, again, this Rakan is playing like a complete NPC, right? Like, I don't know what he expects walking up, but yeah, like, Ezreal can never crash on his own, right?
Yep.
Did we ever clear this vision here?
No, I didn't.
No, so we know there's a ward here, right? So what we're doing right here, we're just walking around on the ward, which they should always know, right? But I guess they're not really respecting.
Just trolling.
Yeah. I mean, of course, if Lee is around, it's maybe still risky, but I think if you dodge this W, you can actually kill them both again.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
yeah, just a slight misplay. And then, of course, Lee's still there, and you get snared up, right? So you die, which sucks. And now game is like completely out of your control, right? If enemies play it out, okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, now the HD version is loaded. Nice. If the enemies play it out correctly, obviously you're never gonna win anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not much to see, right? Yeah. Wait, did top lane die? Yeah, top lane also died 1v1. Nothing is going your way this game.
Been rough lately.
It's rough. At least you deafen. That's good. That's good. That deafening when tilted is for sure the right move. At least I don't know. Does it still bug with the pings?
No, I think you can. I'm not sure, but you can ping again. But
Okay.
I don't know if it.
I mean, I think
people
before
see
it wasn't that you couldn't ping. It was just you couldn't see pings, including your own. I think that was
Yeah.
what the bug was. But
Yeah.
it's of course really annoying. I typed like I didn't really deafen. I just typed /mute all because I didn't want to not be able to ping, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, here when you get back on map, so depending on what clear you want to do, you usually want to take a certain camp first, right? So I like the fact that you're not taking blue first because of how respawns work, right? Blue buff 5 minutes, normal camps 2 minutes 15, right? Is the respawn timer.
Yep.
So yeah, for sure taking normal camps first is always better in terms of long-term efficiency, right?
Yep.
And then depending on whether or not you want to do a clear like this in the future, or do you want to clear in a different way, you either want to take Wolf or Crux first.
Honestly, what I'm thinking about is Lee Sin is so focused on bots, obviously. So maybe I can just like get a Herald in here. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
just try it.
you can, right? I think in this game state, it's really fine to do something. But the only thing is, Lee Sin hasn't been in his top side for a while, and Herald is up, and their bot just came off a reset, right? Their bot is a reset timer. So I think if you start Herald right now, realistically, no one should be on bot, right? Senna has no reason to be bot right now, so Fire should of course run there, but Senna has no reason to be there. And Lee Sin wants to be top side to also clear camps, right? He doesn't never want to clear camps. So at this point, I think this is not the timer to do Herald. I think what you can do is clear your top side and just look, right? Are they on Herald? If not, they're probably paving to bot again, right? They're probably paving to bot again. So yeah, I think it's a good way to maybe get something back in the game. Alternatively, I mean not alternatively, you always want to look at what's happening on the map, right? But for example, mid lane is also a lane where if Ahri has no ult, you can actually kill, right? And right now, I think she actually used it, right? Yeah, she actually just used ult. So you could also look for like a potential mid gank in the next like 1.5 minute. This is something you know because obviously with Ahri ult up you can't. But wait 1 second, the doorbell's ringing, so I have to go open the door. Okay, never mind. My roommate already opened the door.
Nice. Yeah. Thing is, I also like looked at the Gwen shopper. I'm like, honestly, she's really squishy right now. Like we can actually kill her, but I think I need Kraken probably.
I mean, I think you can kill her if it's played correctly, right? If Poppy hits a stun into the wall and you see her, change CC her, you for sure can, right? Let's see, is she playing with Flash? Yeah, she's not even playing with Flash. Should Poppy have Flash? Probably not because he got solo killed, but wait, I missed the timer where you press tab. Fuck, I thought it was still coming up. Yeah, your Poppy has no Flash, but yeah, for sure, I think ganking top could also be a possibility. But I don't think you can dive, right? So when you look at this wave, does this look gankable right now?
No.
No, it doesn't, right? Like this is gonna push in. Of course, if you watch and this guy starts like a fight on the slow push, which he might, because he should be winning 1v1, right? So he might force a fight when Poppy tries to push it in. You could run top, get the kill, right? And then after you get this kill, obviously, if Lee Sin is not top side, you can still look for Herald, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think starting Herald here, even though normally I would say it's not the best play, it could be fine, right? Purely because you're so behind in the game. Same goes for mid, right? Looking for mid lane gank with flash up when he has no ult could be fine as well, right?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of things are like you're so behind, like you're never gonna really get
actually,
like an optimal play anymore, right? Realistically.
I'm up a level even.
Yep,
So,
that is crazy. And I think this play that you're doing is actually fine because your mid has ult and enemy mid has no ult. I think if you're doing this play because of that reason, I think it's good. If it's just I want to look for a pick on Lee Sin, it should never work here because his team is behind, right?
Yeah.
But given the fact that Ahri is low and no ult, and your Akali has ult, it's good, right?
Like I really wanted to fight here because I like yeah.
But I think right
reasons
now you back off a bit and you wait W cooldown because you have W flash up and your Akali should be moving up, right?
Yeah.
So if you back off a bit here, you give yourself distance to dodge his Q. And if you dodge his Q, obviously it's really big, right? Because you're not gonna like all of this damage you're taking right now, you're not gonna take. And then you barely don't burst him, but clearly you just don't have the damage, right? Like not much you can do better in the burst. And then here it's just about realizing what your Akali wants to do, right? Because there's like a low health Lee Sin, and Ahri was low health as well, and your Akali is on ult right now. So he should always be looking to go for the execute targets in his mind, right?
Didn't Akali have Eon? Or wait, from where did she have E? The Akali. Huh? Oh wait, she just ulted.
Yeah,
Okay.
she just ults.
Oh, okay.
And then I mean he fucks up the ult on the Lee Sin if you watch, like right here. Like he's gonna miss ult, right? Which is bad. But he should not want to look like he should always look to chase Lee Sin here, right?
Yeah.
He's not looking to go on Senna, which makes your W flash on Senna like bad, right? Because right now you can wait, right? You're not in danger. Yeah, what were you saying?
My head, she like ults on top of him, she double E's him, right? And then like executes towards Lee Sin and like obviously get the damage on Senna as well. And then we kill Senna and she can get the Lee Sin as well. Like, that's why the W flashed here.
What you're saying is like true, but even then you want to play a bit slower with the W flash, right? Because if he ults like this and then E's towards here and hits the Senna with the E, let's say he's like here after the E and he hits Senna on E. He still has to ult on the Lee Sin and then fly back with E, right?
Yeah.
So when he's like here and you already go for the W play, he still has to ult and fly back. And you want to obviously you want to sync the stun together with your Kali, right? That he's gonna come back. And then I mean the one thing you do achieve is like the Ahri charm on you, but I think if you play it a bit slower, right? You give Akali like time to kill this and then to come back if you can still fight. And then obviously Akali misplays as well. I think he could have killed two, regardless of how you play it, but that happens, right? Like you can't control that guy misplays. And then in general, I think this fight is good to go for. It's a good angle, right? He shouldn't face check you like this, and then just space a bit better here. And then the fight is like, if you play it like that, I think this is like a comeback angle, right? If you kill two here and you don't die, you get to farm your bot side or you get to take Herald, whichever one is like more doable. If you're really low, of course you can get pushed off by Gwen, right, on the Herald. And then you get to reset, you have your Kraken, you're like actually ahead in tempo again, and you can maybe look to impact map again, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, at this point still, it's always like when you're behind like this, it's always look for enemy mistakes, which you did like you did your top side, which is the consistent play. Then you walked here, see if they make a mistake, right? Which they did, and you punished. Just the execution was a bit off, but that's how you come back, right? You come back by doing the consistent things that you know give value, and then looking for a punish. You don't come back by just running around and waiting for enemies to make a mistake, right? You only want to run around like that when you don't have anything else to do.
Do you think I should, like games like these, when a draft is like that, do you think I should dodge these? Because in my head, it looked like in select from just compress, it looked like playable, but then when I was in game, it was really like really hard.
Yeah, I mean it's like kind of tricky because, for example, champions like Akali is always if the Akali is really good. If you're playing Viego Akali, it's like two highly mechanical champions, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys both play that fight a bit better, the outcome of the game might look different because you can snowball on mid jungle, right? And then the same for a champ like Rakan, right? Rakan Ezreal, I wouldn't recommend playing with it in solo queue. It's not the best lane, right? But some Rakans are like really insane, and they will play really well on the map with you, and you can play together, and you can do a lot, right? But yeah, typically speaking, if you have a lot of losing lanes, and your jungle matchup is also not good, it just depends. Can your champion 1v9 if you hit like some items, then you can play it. But if your champ can't 1v9 if you hit some items, then you probably want to dodge, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not it's not a good chance to win if your team also has like champs that aren't the best and you have a champ that isn't the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So now we respawn. We have item finished, right? What do you think you want to do on the map now? Also, Lee Sin spawns at the same time, right? So he has the same timer. He should have cleared the top side as well, just like you.
I mean, here I'm just like thinking big shutdown Gwen. I maybe try something.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
mean,
if
I
I
think
just died again and yeah.
Yeah, but I think actually running top here is kind of the, even though it sounds funny, it's the correct play to run top here. Because if you watch the map right now, so Lee Sin died, Ahri is reset, Fars takes bot and resets, right? So Ahri, Fars are in base, and Gwen is fighting top, which means he's gonna take a reset soon as well, right? Lee Sin's bot camps are up, your bot camps are up as well, right? But you're like behind. If you just match clear, they are gonna get their timer. Like they're just gonna swap their bot lane to top, or if they really for some reason want their bot on mid, they go to bot lane on mid. Their top laner on bot and their mid on top, right? But realistically, they should put their bot lane on top, right? Their mid lane on mid. Gwen bases runs to bot, right? Lee Sin takes his bot side camps, then runs to his trunk side, which is his bot lane. He takes Herald together with them. They take Vision, they take your top tower, they run to mid, and they just Herald mid tower and take mid tower as well, right?
Yeah.
That's how they want to play out the map. So we want to do something to deny that line of play of them. And obviously running bot and taking your two bot camps at this point is never gonna deny what they're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So I think running top right now and just doing Herald, like trying to get the Herald when they're doing like their timers, their reset, they're looking to set up the lanes again, right? I think it's actually a good possibility, right? Because if you deny this Herald, maybe you can make a play on their weak side, right? Gwen no ult right now, you can maybe take Herald, run bot, and then on Akali ult timer, you can maybe look to punish the Gwen, and if you do, you can take full turret on bot, right?
Yeah.
Or same for Akali, if or Ahri. I mean, if Ahri goes bot because he sees no one is like in time, right? So I think doing this Herald is actually like a good attempt because of that reason.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if they run to you right now, it's gonna be like really flip, right? Whether or not you get it, but there's nothing you can do about that. Okay, looks like their bot is just set up on mid and they put their top lane on top. So when we take this Herald, what do you think you want to do?
I wanna break some tower. What time does it say? Well,
It's minute 12. It's minute 12.
I mean, I wanna try to get as many platings as possible to get Summer back into the game.
And how do you get platings? Like, how do you get as many platings as possible?
For example, right now, top lane, like they are pushing, there's like 2 or 3 platings. Or do you mean in general, how do I get more platings?
I mean, like in general, you just want to make a play somewhere and then place the Herald, right? And the play can be get control, they respect, and you place Herald. But in this case, I think because you know Gwen just used ult on top to get the solo kill on Poppy, right? It's actually way easier to dive, right? So I think you can run to top, you have Rakan ult, you have Rakan W, you are all full HP, and you have Herald, right? If you trade 1 for 1 or even 1 for 2 on this play, you kill him, you get Herald, you take this full tower, it's worth, right? So yeah, for sure, running top right now is really good. And Lee Sin is kind of there to cover the play, but you can maybe still make a play on them, right? Because you have numbers advantage.
Look what my Rakan does here. What's my...
Oh, yeah, that's not good. That guy is not playing the best. I mean, it kind of sucks, right? Because normally you don't want to play around someone that is playing really bad all game in solo queue.
Yeah.
But in this case, I think you kind of have to because it's a timer that you are given, right? This top play. And yeah, I think you are doing like the complete correct thing, right? You make the play on the side that you are the strongest, and you also like play it fine. It's just yeah. Yeah, and then I think this dive, like same, right? I think it's good. Just your team for some reason doesn't want to do it. Like I think this is the timer where you just release. Like you would want ideally someone else to tank, right? But even if you have to tank, you just W them here. You guys go in, burst them down, and you trade 1-for-1. But you get the shutdown and you get the herald charge, right? And it's always worth.
I don't know why my Rakan just doesn't auto attack for aggro, to be honest, but
yeah, I mean he should, right? He should take aggro. But regardless, it's the like you're doing the right play, right? Oh, Ezreal, no.
Yeah, he's playing on 200 ping, by the way. Luga is in an A right now, isn't he?
Who?
Luga, the CLG 80
Oh,
carry?
Luger. I don't know. He might be. I have no clue.
Yeah, because that's Ezreal, and he was playing with 200 ping, I think.
Yeah, he might. I don't know. But yeah, he like obviously if he doesn't do this, you guys get third as well, right? You get third and they run out. And this is like a good play by you, right? These are the kind of windows you want to look for, right? Like if we go back from spawn, like this is all as long as you know why it's good, right? Because this is all predictable. What's gonna happen here, right? Right.
I just go full damage, by the way, this game, so feel like if I go try now Trinity fast, then I don't have enough damage to like kill anyone. And
yeah, fair enough. Just thinking about pathing, right? Like if you go top right now, it's kind of risky. But on the other flip side, probably Lee Sin, like here pushes and bases, right? Because he was low. But maybe he goes for the top side and he's greedy himself, right? But we don't see him cross this ward. I don't know. I think this ward is maybe a bait ward. I'm not sure. But if you know he's not in your top side, I think this is the time to take your top side because you don't want to take it afterwards, right? And it's not really possible to make a quick play here. Because it should be Gwen that's coming to bot, but Gwen should have ult up again, so I don't think you can 2v1 her, like on a turret, which means you can't really make a play on her, which means you just want to get as much gold as possible, which is doing these two camps into your bot side camps, right? And we shouldn't be looking to contest this Drake really, because even though they're two on top, Gwen and Lee Sin should be coming back to bot side, right? Fire should be coming back to bot side, and someone wants to catch top, which in this case is Ezreal. So you're just gonna drop gold to try and contest this if you make Ezreal move, which is not the way you win, right? Getting this dragon is not gonna win you the game.
This dragon is completely useless, yeah. Well, I mean, what I thought maybe, like, I could just take my bot camps, run into top with my Rakan Ezreal, and we finally take the top tower as trade-off, I guess.
I mean, what you're saying is true, but it's still not the timer. Like, you still have the time to clear your top side camps first. Because you can take these two camps, then run to your bot, take these two camps. Because Ezreal, they're gonna push in this wave, right? Then Ezreal has to catch, and then he has to build up his next wave, right?
Yeah.
So I think you do have the time to take your camps, not Crocs, right? But your other camps, and get them. But of course, if you're all playing on top side, you can do it the other way around as well. You can do like Reptus Red, Wolf, Grump, and to make the top play if you are all on top side anyway, because then Lee Sin probably isn't going to invade, right? So I guess what you're saying is like fine, right? It's fine if you want to play top side. But I do think Crux is like really far away from your strong side of the team now, right?
Yeah,
which is a bit awkward. But also your team is all going top, which is also a bit awkward for you, because now you're stuck defending two lanes. When running up to mid, obviously you have to be careful of Farah's ult. If he gets to ult you here, he can actually go, oh my god, well, he was going for it, right? I mean, you were careful for it, right, kind of. And this guy, I don't know how he expected that to hit, but yeah, this is fine. But like, you can't really do anything here, right? You just have to wait till your team. You see them come from behind. Do you think you can walk up and pressure to make a play here?
Mm, I mean, they don't have Varus or Red, but
Yeah.
Lee Sin is there as well,
Yeah.
so.
I think you're allowed to just walk back in here. Because if Gwen is walking up, it means he's not protecting his Varus. It means Rakan and Ezreal can maybe go on him, get a quick play. Of course, if you can walk up, get the hit, you get a reset as well, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a quick kill, like, and he has no ult, right? So for sure, I think you're allowed to walk up back here.
Yeah.
Because now we walk really far away, which means they just get to walk out however they want, right? They don't feel pressured. Yeah, now Rakan goes for that exact play, but we are not in time to follow up and we don't get the quick burst, right? If you are, right now, if you are here, I think you kill him.
Yeah, probably. That's true.
Because if this stun lands, right? But
Yeah,
now
then
it's
he
just an
dies.
awkward play. So yeah, and these are kind of the windows because they get a flank, right? They get a flank, and Lee Sin is not in position to like they're not in position to properly defend this, right?
Yeah.
This guy's kiting to the wrong, like that's also a thing. You see him kiting here. He's never
Yeah,
allowed to do this because their strong side of the map is bot side, right? Your strong
Yeah.
side of the map is top side, so he's never allowed to do this. Which the way you punish it is by Rakan running like this, Ezra running like this, and you obviously running like this, and then he gets like sandwiched by 3 people.
Yeah.
Okay, that goes wrong, and then the fight after goes wrong as well. And I mean, I think this game is completely lost, right? So normally I would say you can like not FFing is good, right? For sure, not FFing is good, but I think this game is like completely lost. So I think
Yeah.
it
And I
makes
knew
sense
that as
if you
well.
want to FF this, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I don't like FFing myself either. Like I almost never FF my games, even if they are lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, not much to say about this, right? Like right now, the whole map is like falling apart. They can kind of do whatever they want.
I mean, yeah,
This is the
everything's
one
just
time. So
burning.
this is the one timer you get now where you just died, but they should be on reset, and R is like being greedy, right on top. So this is like the one timer you get where maybe you can make a play on mid or on top with numbers advantage, right? So you want
Yeah.
to, yeah, what you're doing is correct, right? You want to run mid, you want to use this timer, but Ezreal is like going bot to catch like 5 minions or like even less, you know, instead of going for this timer
Yeah.
mid. And I think here you just let's see. I mean, Rakan, if Rakan is running with you, I think you just W flash on the Varus and try to burst him down with like the CC from Rakan, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to get back into the game because if you don't go on Varus, he can get a lot of value in the fight, right? You see how much damage he
Yeah.
does to you because you're not on
Yeah,
him.
that's crazy. Actually, if I flash the ult over the wall there, I think actually we can maybe kill everyone. Sure.
Yeah, but it's like really hard because you don't see him. Like, sure, you see this ult, right?
Yeah.
But you don't see him start the animation. So it's like so hard to do, right? You need to be really focused on
Yeah.
it to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the shutdown, right, on Senna, which is good. It's still fine. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I think going on Ferris is better there. But also Rakan is like Rakan and Ezreal, like when you walk out of base here, right? You should be like spam pinging what you want to do. You should be like spam pinging mid now, like on the way, you know, like assistance, come with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if Ezreal was mid right now and Rakan was mid right now, and you make the 3-man play, you're 3v2, right?
Yeah.
And then, like for example, right when you see him walk like this, I wouldn't even mind you going like
Yep.
here, flashing wall, charging W, and Wing the Varus, right?
I mean, Rakan even you
If
just
people,
used this W by the way.
yeah,
Like.
yeah, but I mean if people were here, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But now obviously they're not, right? So you can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I also know Rakan doesn't have W cooldown because he just W'd the wall.
yeah.
So.
Somewhat this guy's Solik as Varus, which is nice, but I'm skipping a bit through by the way because now like
Of course.
there's no like normal game state anymore.
Yeah.
And you just try to get stuff done, which is like really hard, right? I mean, that's well played, right? Like, not much to say, just well executed, good catch. I think stuff like this is nice, right? You're just trying to get into a spot where they don't expect you, and you get the catch, right? Which is good. That's kind of the only way you really come back into this game right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
And now game is
Here we
starting to
killed
look
like
a bit
lot.
winnable, to be honest, because your team also gets a lot of kills.
Yeah, I got a bit of hope there, but
I think here it's just by boots, no tier 2 boots.
yeah, probably.
Because you need to win, like you need to be as strong as possible for next fight, because you need to win another fight to make the comeback happen, right? And I think
Yeah.
tier 2 boots are better for the fight than Sheen Rubius.
Yeah, for sure. Mercs have insane value here as well.
Yeah, if you go Mercs plus like longsword, right?
Yeah, I have enough. I mean, I can also go Hellthreat. I have enough damage now with
Yeah,
Clark
exactly.
and Borg.
Whichever is best for you to buy.
Yeah, I agree.
I should get this Drake guaranteed. And I guess these guys get like the 1-for-1. And I think here it's kind of the same, right? Like you're getting in a spot where they don't expect you, and map timer right now is kind of not like there's nothing happening, but this is kind of the timer. Normally people would want to take a chill, like a lot of stuff just happened. They're like, okay, guys, we need to calm down, right? So probably what they're gonna do is they're just gonna farm jungle, push out waves, set up vision, and then play again, right? So the timer when they're setting up, that's the timer that you can actually like get like a big surprise on them, right? Which is now. So here, I think what you're doing is nice, right? You're sitting here waiting for him to start Grump. Only thing is you were like a bit too impatient, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't know if is because you don't realize this is the timer that they're probably gonna do stuff like this, or if it's because of another reason. Yeah.
I thought he was clearing from bot to top. But then, like what I think now is like we see Varus push mid wave. We don't see anyone on the map. Like why? Like what is the reason they're not setting up Nash / doing Nash? Like so, yeah.
I mean,
I just didn't expect him to be here, to be honest.
I mean, the fact that you think like he should be playing from bot to top right now because they want to play around the Nash area, right? Which means this is his only timer to get his bot camps, right? So yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, this is just unlucky, right? I think if you get the jump on him, like he queues in, and you get the jump on him now, maybe it looks different. Maybe you 1v1 him, right? And now you just die, which sucks. Also, it doesn't make sense for Senna to be here, by the way. That's like really weird.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to be here. So I think, like, regardless, if Senna was there, you probably lose the pay, but there's no reason for him to be there, right? So I think the play is like fine by you that you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like again, you're not allowed to do anything on map, right? Like,
yeah.
Game is completely the game is completely lost again. Okay, kind of a flank angle. It's nice. Yeah, I mean it's so sad, like watching this. Like I don't know, Rakan should just run to you right here instead of to the fight, and then you kill these two guys. But I mean he's so focused on what's happening on the other side. And then yeah, here it's again. I think you should always like even though Senna's squishy, I think you should always look to go on Varus because if you don't, he's just gonna kill you every time. Right.
Yeah, I mean, both of them one-shot me at this point, right? Like Senna's like 10-0 as well.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Senna's also like for sure. Senna's also strong, right? But generally speaking, you should always go on the Varus here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you die, which is like yeah, you get one shot, and the game is just lost, right? They should end soon. Yeah. All right. I mean, is there anything you still want to look at from this game?
I mean, not really. It was just overall like this game just felt really awkward to play, as I said before, right? Like I wasn't really sure what to do, but I guess I think if I use like every time I can get and I like play close to perfection, I think it can actually be winnable, right? Like when I take that reset timer, I can fight my top side, and then I get earlier timer bot. We probably kill bot lane. Maybe game looks different because Ezreal will be more hit. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. Like
Games like these, you see, right? Like if you can almost everything right, there's like a way higher chance to win, right? Like,
yeah,
these
for
are
sure.
like
I
the
think,
sort of
I mean,
games.
that's the thing, right? Like if you you can always lose the game even if you do everything correct. But if you do the things in this game like a bit different, then I mean, especially on jungle role, because that's why everyone always complains about jungle role, right?
Yeah.
If you do a few things a bit different, it impacts every other role, right? Except for
Yeah.
top in this game, but it impacts bot and mid, both of them, right? Which then could mean you suddenly have like a whole different game on your hand, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, to recap, like you said, I think the level 1 ward was smart, but you kind of like just barely misplaced it, right? But I think it's smart to get this. If you get info that leaves pathing like slowly, right? It makes a huge difference. Of course, if you know he's going to be on bot to counter gank on like wave 3, you don't want to like get into the 3-3 because losing. But yeah, then we do Raptors into red into Crux. And of course, watching bot state during all of it. And then if you can get the bot gank off, it's really good, right? And then
Yeah.
we turn our pathing into a top to bot path afterwards, right? We do like blue into this, right?
Yeah.
Into like scuttle. I don't know the exact timing how fast you do everything, right? But yeah, if Lee sit path to top from bot, obviously you want to take the top scuttle, not the bot scuttle, because you lose 1v1, and you just want to keep on looking bot, right?
Yeah.
On the windows you create. I think that's to be honest the biggest takeaway is like because this game you even did it, right? You got like the timer on bot where you got this flash, even though it might have
Yeah.
not been the ideal way to do it. But then after doing so, right? After doing so, it's like here, right? This one kind of fucked a lot with your game. I think before this point, your game is still in a really fine state, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And it's just you looking for a play on a side that you didn't create the opportunity before, right? Whereas if you do something like this on bot, it's much different because of flash and no flash center, right?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I don't think there's much else to look at, right? Like main takeaway is just yeah, like what we just said, and then the mental thing as well, right? That you talked about, where it's just you can only influence what you do yourself, right? Like Rakan like this, if you get really focused on that he sucks, then it's also gonna make you play a bit worse, right?
For sure, yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I feel like if I'm like once behind on tempo, like this thing what you are viewing right now, right? Like this fucks a lot with my tempo. Like if I just reset like half a minute earlier, like I have so many opportunities. It's not even like I have to do bot gank. Like in theory, I can also like invade, like slash like cover bot lane and then invade the Lee Sin even because I'm gonna be stronger.
Yeah.
I will have a better timer
I
on
mean,
him. There are so many opportunities, and now after this shit, like what happened? I don't have anything to play.
yeah. I mean that's why when you see like the best solo queue junglers, right? They barely ever waste time looking for things that is not guaranteed. Because sorry?
I watch a lot of. I know he's like kind of hated, like Arguin.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I
he's
think
one of the best, right? Solo queue
like
junglers.
yeah, like he's hitting rank 1 every season, and he's playing like if you watch like how he plays, he's like really like he plays hyper efficient, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And that's how you want to play on jungle because, especially in solo queue, right? Opportunities will create themselves. But the only problem that you have is you can't go sitting waiting for opportunities to happen because if then they don't happen, you have just spent like maybe 30 seconds watching nothing happen, right? But if you
for
spend
sure.
30 seconds watching nothing happen, but you already cleared all of your camps, you don't actually lose anything. And then you're able to look for things. And I think like whenever I play with Agarin or whenever I play against Agarin, it's the same, right? He's always high CS, but it's also always impacting the map. And it's because he's playing really efficient, right? He's not wasting any time on the map.
I mean,
And
he
it's
also
like a
when he
snowball
sees
effect.
what I'm like really bad at as well. If he like sees a little lane of him, like do a mistake, like he will, like if he thinks it's like actually bad to help and he will get like behind from it, then he will not do it. Like he will not bail his laners out if he doesn't think it's good.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, right? In solo queue, where you are the consistent factor in all of your games. Like there's 9 players that you randomly get matched with, and then there's you. So if you are always in a good spot to carry, you're gonna win way more games than if you always play to get your laners in a good spot to carry, right? In theory.
Yeah, agree.
But yeah. Is there anything else you want to ask? You want to talk about?
No, I think that's alright.
All right. Then I would say we'll end the session here. So once again, sorry for being late.
All good.
And thank you for being patient with me. I hope you enjoyed the session, right?
Yeah, it was really nice.
I will upload it to YouTube and just send it to you. Are you fine with being uploaded like as a public video? Like I don't think people really watch it, but then for future reference, sure, I'll do that then. And then if you have any feedback for me, please do let me know. And apart from that, I would say have a good day.
You too. Thanks a lot for the session, by the way.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. All right. Have a good one, man. Bye bye.
Have a good one. Bye bye.